In this episode, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of developing the right leadership competencies. It's a topic that affects everyone, from the CEO of a Fortune 500 company to the team lead organizing a weekend bake sale. Ready to explore this with me, Lily?
Absolutely, Sophia. Leadership isn't just about titles. It's about influence, about inspiring others to achieve a common goal. And developing the right competencies is key to achieving that effectively and ethically. Let's unpack what that actually entails.
Exactly. So many leadership gurus throw around buzzwords, but we need to get to the core principles. Let's start with the basics. What are some fundamental leadership competencies that consistently appear in successful leaders, regardless of industry or organizational structure?
That's a great starting point. I think we consistently see emotional intelligence ranking high. The ability to understand and manage one's own emotions, and to empathize with and effectively respond to the emotions of others, is crucial. It allows leaders to build strong relationships, navigate conflict, and foster a positive team environment. Without emotional intelligence, even the most technically brilliant leader can struggle.
I completely agree. And it's not just about being nice, it's about being self-aware, understanding your strengths and weaknesses, and how those affect your interactions with others. Think about it. A leader who isn't self-aware might unintentionally create a toxic environment through their actions, even if their intentions are good.
Precisely. And closely related to emotional intelligence is communication. Effective communication is the lifeblood of any successful team. It's about clearly articulating a vision, actively listening to feedback, and providing constructive criticism. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it.
Absolutely. I've seen many talented individuals fail in leadership roles simply because their communication skills were lacking. They might have brilliant ideas, but if they can't effectively convey those ideas to their team, those ideas remain unrealized. It's about clarity, empathy, and adapting your communication style to your audience. You wouldn't talk to your team the same way you'd address a board of directors, right?
Of course not. And then there's decision-making. Leaders are constantly faced with choices, some small, some monumental. Effective decision-making requires a blend of analytical skills, intuition, and the courage to make tough calls, even when the outcome is uncertain. It's about weighing the risks and rewards, considering different perspectives, and being comfortable with ambiguity.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about adaptability. The business world, and frankly the world in general, is constantly evolving. Effective leaders need to be flexible, able to adjust their strategies and approaches as circumstances change. Rigid adherence to a plan in a rapidly changing environment can be disastrous.
That's so true. And let's not overlook strategic thinking. It's about having a vision for the future and developing a roadmap to get there. It involves anticipating challenges, identifying opportunities, and aligning resources to achieve long-term goals. It's about seeing the bigger picture.
Yes, strategic thinking is paramount, and it needs to be coupled with execution. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if you can't effectively execute it, it's all for naught. This involves planning, organizing, and motivating your team to achieve the desired outcomes. Delegation is a huge part of this, isn't it?
Absolutely. Effective delegation isn't just about dumping tasks. It's about identifying the right people for the job, empowering them with the necessary resources and authority, and providing support and guidance along the way. It's about building trust and fostering a sense of ownership within the team.
So we've covered some key competencies: emotional intelligence, communication, decision-making, adaptability, strategic thinking, and execution. But how do you actually develop these competencies? It's not like you can just flip a switch and suddenly become a perfect leader.
Exactly. It's a continuous process of learning and self-improvement, and it involves a multifaceted approach. Formal education, such as leadership development programs or MBAs, can provide a structured framework and theoretical knowledge. But that's only one piece of the puzzle.
Right? Experience is crucial. Real-world challenges are the best teachers. Facing difficult situations, making mistakes, learning from those mistakes, that's where true growth happens. It's a bit like learning to ride a bike. You can read all the manuals you want, but you only truly learn by doing.
And mentorship plays a vital role. Learning from experienced leaders, seeking guidance and feedback, and observing how they navigate different situations can be invaluable. Having someone who can offer insights and support during challenging times can make all the difference.
I completely agree. And let's not forget the power of self-reflection. Regularly evaluating your own performance, identifying areas for improvement, and actively seeking feedback from others is crucial for continuous growth. It's about honest self-assessment.
And seeking feedback. That's so important. It's not always easy to hear criticism, but it's essential for growth. Constructive criticism, when delivered effectively, can illuminate blind spots and highlight areas where you can improve your leadership skills.
Indeed. And speaking of feedback, let's talk about 360-degree feedback. This method involves gathering feedback from multiple sources, superiors, peers, and subordinates, to get a well-rounded perspective on your leadership style.
Yes, 360-degree feedback is a powerful tool for self-improvement. It can provide valuable insights into how others perceive your leadership and identify areas where you might need to adjust your approach. It can be a little uncomfortable at first, but the insights gained can be invaluable.
It's definitely a good idea to approach it with an open mind. Remember that the goal is to learn and grow, not to be defensive. Remember that time I completely misjudged the mood of the team and tried to implement a new strategy during a particularly stressful period?
Yes, the surprise team-building exercise incident. That was a learning experience, to say the least. It highlighted the importance of emotional intelligence and reading the room. Sometimes the best strategy is simply to postpone a change until the team is better positioned to handle it.
Exactly. And that's a perfect example of how real-world experiences contribute to leadership development. It's not about avoiding mistakes, it's about learning from them and using those lessons to improve your future actions. And sometimes the best lessons come from the most unexpected places.
It's also crucial to remember that leadership development is a journey, not a destination. There's always room for improvement, and the most effective leaders are those who are constantly striving to learn and grow. They're never complacent.
That's a fantastic point. It's a continuous process of self-reflection, learning, and adaptation. It's about embracing challenges, seeking feedback, and constantly striving to improve your skills and abilities.
And it's important to remember that different leadership styles can be effective in different contexts. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. What works well in one situation might not be suitable in another. A democratic style might be ideal for collaborative projects, while a more directive style might be necessary in crisis situations. The key is to be adaptable and to choose the approach that's most appropriate for the situation at hand.
Absolutely. The best leaders are adaptable and versatile. They can adjust their style depending on the team, the project, and the circumstances. They're able to leverage their strengths and also understand their weaknesses, and they aren't afraid to ask for help when needed.
And a really important element, often overlooked, is self-care. Leaders often put incredible pressure on themselves to perform, to be always available. But burnout is a real risk, and if a leader is exhausted and stressed, their effectiveness plummets. Prioritizing self-care, getting enough sleep, exercising, spending time with loved ones, is essential for sustaining leadership performance.
That's so true. A burnt-out leader is a detriment to their team and their organization. Self-care isn't selfish. It's essential for long-term effectiveness and well-being. It's about maintaining a sustainable pace that allows for both professional success and personal fulfillment.
Speaking of sustainability, let's talk about creating a culture of leadership development within an organization. It's not just about training individuals. It's about fostering an environment where everyone feels empowered to contribute, learn, and grow.
Absolutely. This involves creating opportunities for learning and development, providing mentoring programs, and encouraging open communication and feedback. It's about embedding leadership development into the very fabric of the organization's culture.
And it requires leadership from the top. If senior leaders don't value leadership development, it's unlikely to be a priority lower down the organization. It needs to be championed at all levels.
Precisely. It's about creating a learning organization where continuous improvement and development are seen as essential components of success. And it's not just about improving leadership skills, It's about building a culture of continuous learning and growth for all employees.
And fostering a culture where mistakes are seen as learning opportunities rather than something to be punished. That kind of environment encourages risk-taking, innovation, and continuous improvement.
Absolutely. Creating a psychologically safe environment is paramount for fostering leadership development. It's a space where people feel comfortable taking risks, experimenting, and sharing their ideas without fear of judgment or retribution.
And that's where empathy plays such a crucial role again. Leaders who demonstrate empathy create an environment where individuals feel understood, valued, and respected. This fosters trust and collaboration, which are essential for creating a thriving leadership culture.
It's a holistic approach, isn't it? It's about developing individual competencies, but also fostering a supportive organizational culture that encourages growth and continuous learning. It's a complex interplay of individual effort and organizational support.
It truly is, and it's a journey that never truly ends. The landscape of leadership is constantly evolving, and effective leaders are those who are committed to ongoing learning and adaptation. They embrace change, seek new knowledge, and consistently strive to improve their skills and abilities.
So to summarize, developing the right leadership competencies involves a blend of formal education, real-world experience, mentorship, self-reflection, 360-degree feedback, and a commitment to continuous learning. It's about understanding and developing core competencies like emotional intelligence, communication, decision-making, adaptability, strategic thinking, and execution. And crucially, it's about fostering a culture within organizations that supports and encourages this ongoing development.
Precisely. And remember, leadership is not just about the individual, it's about the collective. It's about empowering others, fostering collaboration, and creating a positive and productive environment where everyone can thrive.
And it's also about recognizing that leadership isn't a fixed trait. It's a skill set that can be honed, refined, and developed throughout one's career. It's a journey of continuous growth and learning.
So listeners, we hope this episode has given you a valuable framework for understanding and developing the right leadership competencies. Remember, it's a continuous journey filled with both challenges and rewards. And as always, remember to be kind to yourselves and celebrate your successes along the way.
And remember that even the most seasoned leaders are still learning and growing. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Learn from them, adapt, and keep moving forward. Oh, and did I mention that leadership development is a marathon, not a sprint? You might need to grab a few power naps along the way.
A power nap is always a good idea, especially after a long day of developing leadership competencies. And on that note, Sophia, I think we've covered a fair amount of ground today.